Welcome to the Truth to You Daily Podcast, a podcast designed for teenagers who want to learn more about God's Word and how it impacts our daily lives. Journey with us as we set out to explore God's timeless truth one day at a time. Hello and welcome back. Hey, can you believe it's Tuesday, December the 17th? I cannot believe that Christmas Day is next week. Wow, can you believe that? It is just come upon us, and it's hard to believe that it's so close at this time. But hey, thanks for joining us again. I want to jump right into our memory verse, Matthew chapter 1 and verse 23. Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. What a special verse. I hope that you've enjoyed committing that to memory. We will one more time tomorrow before we look at some other things. But again, our memory verse for this week has been Matthew chapter 1 and verse 23. I want to go ahead and jump right into one of my favorite chapters in the book of 1 Corinthians. And maybe this has already been a challenge to you as you've read 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verse 7 is a challenge like some other things are not. And I want to show you this verse, 1 Corinthians 13, verse 7. Speaking about charity or love, we could say, here is a characteristic of love, and Paul gives it to us. He says, love beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, and endureth all things. I want to talk just a second about a test of your love. Right now, so many of the teenagers in our youth group are going through their final week of testing before the break. And teenagers, let me just tell you this, I've been praying for you, especially because of that. And listen, just press on, keep studying, keep managing your time well. You're going to get a break here soon. You're going to have a wonderful Christmas break, and you're going to get to relax and all of that. But listen, put the work in, okay? Make a special push to do well on these tests. But for our purposes here, in the thought that we're talking about, as Paul is talking about a test of your love. And really, the thing that we have to remember about love is that love is a choice. Sometimes we like to focus this idea of love around the ideas of feelings, or something you experience, in your emotions. And we a lot of times get that from what we see in movies or how we hear other people talk about it. And maybe even you hear from time to time a character or someone ask the question of, well, how do you know if you love someone? And, let's allow the Lord to answer the question for us. And in this verse, he tells us that love bears all things and endures all things. The choice to love people that are sometimes unloving back is a hard one. However, the command to even love our enemies is still in the Bible. And this really is a test of our love. Do you find that your love for people, for your friends, for even your enemies, which is another level and is very difficult to do, you find that love? Does that love endure all things? Does it bear all things? Because Paul is saying here that if you love someone, that love will endure all things. That love will bear through all things. And you say, well, Brother Scott, here's a situation in my life that you don't know the details to, and you don't know how difficult it would be to love someone in spite of the things that they've done to me. And you know what? I can relate to you from a human perspective and say, you know what? Humanly speaking, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that would be difficult. But you know what? The Lord wants us to be reminded of the fact that we serve a God that is more powerful and more wonderful than humanity itself. And through him, we have the power to do these things. Now, not apart from him. It's not that I'm just working up in myself the ability to just, hey, I'm going to bear through and endure all things and love this person as I should because it's the right thing to do. I've just got to work myself up to it. No, it's not so much as that. It's just living the Christ life. It's allowing the Spirit of God to direct our thoughts and our actions. And really, what better picture of an individual who endured all at the hands of those who hated him than that of Christ? If there's ever been a person who set aside the way people treated him in order to love a person and love a people and love humanity, it's been Christ. Teenager, I don't know how this applies to your life specifically, but I know that there are probably some individuals that you're having a hard time loving, and I want you to be encouraged by this characteristic of love, true love, and that is to bear and endure in order to love as we should. And you know what? I know that the Lord can help you to do that today. Listen, take some time, and if the Lord maybe didn't bring to mind someone specifically that you're thinking about in regards to this principle, take some time to just sit quietly before the Lord and ask Him, Lord, how can I better apply this principle to my life? Hey, thanks for joining us. Before we close things up here today, I just want to mention the teen of the day, and that is Stephanie. Pray for Stephanie, and especially as we move towards, a new year, 2020. Can't believe it. The Lord has special things for all of us next year. And pray for Stephanie. Lord would continue to grow her, and that Stephanie would trust the Lord for everything, and just like all of us need to. But I know she'd appreciate those prayers here today. Thanks for joining us yet again on the Truth to You podcast. We hope that you will join us back again for Wednesday, which is tomorrow, December the 18th. I hope that you won't miss it. We'll see you then.